Wow, that right there is a big raise. I have all the details for you in this video. Also, what Bernie Sanders said earlier today in an interview talking about this stimulus package. And yes, yet again, we have another new COVID variant. I have all the details for you in this video, so let's get into it right now. But if you haven't done so, or if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated with all of this new information that continues changing every single day as it pertains to the stimulus packages, announcements, proposals, amendments, reform, and so many other things that are coming out right now as things are changing very, very rapidly. Also, make sure to stay tuned as my wife Corey will be back in just a couple minutes with the new updated list of shoutouts for those names that are pulled right out of the fan club. And starting earlier today, we are now announcing twice as many shoutouts, and everybody's going to be getting 2 shoutouts every single day, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into this right now. All right, so let's quickly talk about Bernie Sanders and what he said earlier today in that interview, specifically talking about this stimulus package. He said a few things, and I want to let you know what he said. Number one, he said that the president, as in President Biden, cannot count on him definitively for a counter-offer or counter-proposal to the Build Back Better agenda, but rather he's going to need to read through the entire proposal and see what is in there and if it is something he's actually going to support. Kind of interesting simply because all the times that we've seen these packages come out, usually Bernie jumps on these things and usually offers his support almost immediately. But this time he is saying, nope, President Biden cannot count on my support automatically, but rather I need to look through it, make sure that I support everything within the bill, and then he can sign off and say, sure, looks good, or no, we need to go back to the drawing board. This is actually pretty interesting because as we learned just a couple days ago, Joe Manchin is going to be working privately with the administration and other lawmakers to write up this new bill or the new version of the Build Back Better agenda and see what they actually want to have in this package going forward. So we should be getting some more details on this, but essentially what this is saying here, and what I'm reading from all this, is that Bernie Sanders essentially doesn't really trust Joe Manchin and what's going to come out of this next proposal. Therefore, Bernie Sanders, just like all of the lawmakers should be doing, is reading through every single line of these bills and these proposals before they decide to endorse it and actually have their support behind it. But again, a lot of times these bills are several thousand pages long, thousands and thousands of pages. Who wants to sit there and read that? Or, let's be real, who actually has the time to read all that? It's a lot of legislative language. It's a lot of deep reading, right? So anyway, that is one of the points that Bernie Sanders made today, which is kind of interesting. I was surprised when I saw that. I actually had to go back and read it again. I thought, wait, did he just say he cannot actually support right away this new counter proposal or counter bill for the Build Back Better agenda? So yeah, Bernie Sanders certainly wants to read through this line by line, see what's totally in there, and see if he can support it. Now, Bernie Sanders also did come out and say in this same interview, it is time to start voting. Now, this comes as no surprise because we've heard this out of Bernie before, but you can start to see that Bernie's getting a little bit frustrated with the process going on here, and he's essentially saying that they need to put all of these senators on record, bring it to the floor, and they're actually somewhat confident that some of these proposals within the Build Back Better agenda can actually start to get passed here. But Bernie's saying, bring it. We've got to start voting on this package. We've got to start voting on things because sitting here doing nothing is not going to get us anywhere, right? So Bernie's essentially saying, we've got to vote. It is time to vote. Bring it to the floor in the Senate, open it up for debate, and start voting on these packages. And see what happens. Either they fail, they pass. We kind of get a reading on where everybody sits right now, but either way, we don't know where everybody sits until we actually hold these votes. So, yeah, right? We've been hearing this for a very long time now. It's time to vote. Bring it in. Let's do it. So, again, maybe they'll bring something this week. And again, like I mentioned a few days ago, according to what I was seeing, it looks like they were potentially thinking about bringing the Build Back Better agenda this week to the floor to actually open it up and vote on it. Again, it's all up in the air right now. Nothing has been confirmed for a vote yet this week, but we'll have to see if they actually do that. Sure, it'd be nice to actually see some action on this thing, but again, I'll keep you posted on that. All right, so let's quickly talk about this new COVID variant. Unbelievable, right? You can't believe that you're hearing this. Yeah, I know. I saw this and I thought, really? Seriously? We're talking about this again? Another new one? So Actually, a couple weeks ago, there was another new variant in France that was detected, but honestly, I never talked about it because I was waiting to see if it got any more attention, if it actually started spreading, things like that. And honestly, it hasn't really come up a whole lot. I saw it earlier today, but this is not the new one. In fact, there's yet again another new one. Now, this one is actually a variant of the Omicron. So right now, as we know, this whole Omicron variant, it took over, I don't know, a couple months ago, and it spread very quickly. Now we have a variant of the Omicron. They're actually calling it BA, as in Bravo Alpha, right? So BA. So that's what they're identifying this as. And it is a variant of the Omicron variant, a variant of the variant. Yeah, right? So as far as I can see, it's not detected here in the United States yet, but rather it's been detected across multiple different European countries, and they're saying it's even more transmissible than even just the straight up Omicron. So seriously, how could it possibly be even more transmissible? Like, if we're within 100 miles of somebody, can we get it? You know what I mean? So obviously I'm joking, but I'm just saying, they're saying it's even more transmissible, and they even told us that the Omicron variant was even like multiple times more transmissible than the other variants. So again, seriously, we're going down this path again? Here's what else is interesting. Has anybody else noticed this, or is it just me? It seems that the variants always originate over in the European countries. Again, nothing against the European countries. I'm just simply saying, isn't it kind of weird how the variants kind of start up over there, and then eventually they make their way here? Again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I have no reason for what, no explanation for why that's happening. I'm just saying, just a simple observation that I've noticed, and I think, it's kind of weird how that's happening. But again, who knows? That's just what I'm observing, so I thought it was kind of interesting. But anyway, of course, I'll keep my eyes on this new BA variant. I wonder if they gave it that name, for the obvious reason, if you know what that means. I don't know, kind of funny, but not funny at the same time, right? So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that as we get further details. But again, it's popping up all over the place, and they're seeing it spread pretty rapidly already. So wow, here we go again, right? Anyway, yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. All right, let's quickly talk about this massive raise. This is unbelievable, and unfortunately, for a lot of people, this is going to flow right back onto us, the people, the consumers. But again, congratulations to the people that are getting this. So the company KLLM, which is a trucking company, just announced that they're going to be implementing, starting in February, up to 33% raise for their over-the-road truckers, their truck drivers. This is incredible, a 33% raise to their over-the-road drivers. Now, these are the people that drive, across the entire country or multiple states, whatever it happens to be, more like the long-haul drivers. Now, they're saying that they're going to be getting this raise starting in February up to 33%. But check this out. You might be wondering, okay, what are we talking about? Like 50 grand, or what are we talking about here? No, here's what it comes out to. According to the CEO, they said that a fresh student, a new student right out of classes, first year could earn between $120,000 and $150,000 as an over-the-road driver. That's incredible. That's like twice as much as the national average income in this country right now. That's incredible. So what does this tell us? It tells us that truck drivers are in massive demand right now and that they are incredibly important. That's what it's telling us, because here's the thing. If these people were not important and providing a really important service, their income would not be that much, right? Because that's just the deal. It's simple supply and demand. Supply and demand is telling us that truck drivers are incredibly important right now, getting all of the products and goods across the country that we need on our store shelves. Therefore, they have to pay them higher to hire more people to bring them into the industry, because according to this report that I was reading, they're actually estimating that as of a couple months ago, the trucking industry is down 80,000 drivers right now. That's a significant number. We're not talking like 5,000 people. 80,000 people is what they're short right now, which again, they're having a hard time recruiting new drivers. Now, what they also said is regional drivers. So the 33% would be going to over-the-road drivers, right? But they were also saying that regional drivers, so like the people that I would anticipate drive probably interstate, I'm guessing was what regional means. Maybe, crossing a border or two at the most, maybe. But, not really long-haul drives. These people would be seeing a increase to their pay by about 10 to 16%. Again, a pretty big rise in price, right? Or income, I should say, not price, but rather income. But here's one more thing we need to look at as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I think truck drivers are incredibly important right now. They're like instrumental when it comes to getting the products on the shelves, because realistically, they're the people who do it, right? It goes from the distributor, the manufacturer, wherever it comes from. It gets hauled across the country, across the state, and it brings it to the store, the loading docks at the stores where we go and buy these products. The grocery stores, the retail stores, all of these places like this, they're the people bringing it there, right? So they're very, very important. But here's the thing. With their pay going up and increased gas prices and transportation costs and stuff like that, guess where that's going to land? Yep, it's going to land right in the prices of all of these products. It has to go somewhere, and it's going to come right back to us. So once again, the inflation is going to be running hot going forward, because here's the deal. The delivery costs of all of that, with the fuel, the operation of the vehicle, the driver, all of these things like this, it's going to raise the price. They pass these costs on to where that product is going, right? So the stores that are having the product delivered, all of these things like this, the retailers, the grocery, all of this stuff, and they need to transfer that price, that increased cost, right onto us, the consumer, right? We are the end users in the most cases for most products, right? So we are the people who pick the products off the shelves, we buy it, and then, it's kind of like the end of the consumer loop, right? So anyway, yeah, that's a massive raise for these truck drivers. Congratulations in advance, but seriously, that's going to just lead to even more price increases for all of us. But don't get me wrong, truck drivers are very, very important right now. Without them, we would have nothing on our shelves. Nothing. Seriously, nothing. We have all these container ships that are off the coast of California right now. As a result of trains and, yes, of course, all of these truck drivers, it is because of those two that we have these products on our shelves. Without the trains and without the truck drivers taking those trailers off the trains and delivering them to the stores and the distribution centers, we would have nothing. We would have nothing. So a huge thank you to all the truck drivers out there and everybody that is doing all this for us, because even though there's a shortage at our stores, it's very important what they're doing. So anyway, wow, just wow, seriously. It's a kind of a weird world that we live in today. I mean, seriously, where has this gone? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost unbelievable, the stuff that we're seeing every day. So anyway, I want to share this with you. This is the updates I have for you right now. Make sure to stay tuned, as my wife Corey will be back here in just a minute with those new updates and those shoutouts for those names that are pulled right out of the fan club. If you're interested in checking out the fan club, there's a link down below in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comment section, I'll pin a comment there as well. You can check it out. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Totally free to do so. Go back and check out any of the other 2,000 plus videos right here on the channel. And of course, share them with your friends, family, social media. So with that being said, Corey, take it away. I'll catch you again later in the next update. And congratulations to the shoutouts in this video. And Corey, it's all you. See ya.
Our shoutouts today go to Alan Vinnis, Anna Owens, Clifford Mariner, Marietta Jennings, Guy Boisonette, Linda Walsh, Deb Myers, Susie, Janet Garanda, Trinity Mayo, Kathleen Elafleur, and Jonathan Prince. Thank you for being members of the fan club.